Hello, everyone. I'm back again. Day 2. Still here. I hope to make this, a usual thing. So we're going to try. But anyways, here I am, a few minutes from going into the gym. But I wanted to record before I go in because I may be very exhausted when I leave. So, yeah. Anyways, today I had a topic in mind, not during the whole day because this happened today. And I wanted to talk about anger, and maybe like trying to control it. I don't know, because with me, I have a weird relationship with anger. I very, very rarely outwardly express anger. And if I do, it's usually when I'm alone, or maybe it's like making like a snide comment, but usually it's when I'm alone. Like today, there was a situation that happened in which, it was all due to a lack of communication, which wasn't necessarily my fault. Actually, it was not my fault. And yeah, so anyways, it ended up in me wasting almost 2 hours of my time. And yeah, which I guess it's not really, it's not something super serious to be mad about. Now that, I've, had some time to think about it, it's not that bad. But in the moment, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little mad. And, my, because my dad was mad at me for, essentially what happened was I went to an event with my brother, and I was told that after the event, we would go. But it turns out that after the event, there was a party at 6 o'clock, and the event ended at 4 o'clock. And so, my brother said, okay, well, let's go. And we only brought one car, so I would have to drive him back. And that would mean I'd have to wait until at least 7 to leave. And we were already 50 minutes away from home. So I didn't want to do that because I wanted to make it to the gym in time before it closes. And just before I was too exhausted. So, I told him I'm going to leave and my dad was going to pick him up. And then my dad agreed, to pick my brother up. But then he texted like 45 minutes later saying, you know what, actually, you guys figure it out. And then, yeah. And I will admit that I do feel a little guilty about, him having to drive all the way there. Because it's like a 50-minute drive there and then a 50-minute drive back. At least for me it was. So I feel a little guilty. And even something worse. I suggested to my brother that, he tells him that I had already left at that time when they made a phone call. I felt really bad about it really quick though, and I told him, a minute later, I was like, you know what? Okay, call him. I said, just don't tell him that I left. Then my brother tells him that he left. So then after he hangs up the phone, I say, my brother tells him that I left. And after he hangs up the phone, I say, okay, call him back and tell him, I will, drive you home. I was willing to just wait until 7 o'clock because I didn't think it was worth all the strife. But he didn't do it. So it is what it is. And I'm not going to lie, I do feel pretty guilty about that. But it was just a bad situation that really could have been avoided if people just, did what they said they were going to do. And there was no, lack of communication. But anyways, all of that put me in a really bad mood. And then when I was driving home after I had left my brother, I had left him at 5 o'clock. So I had already wasted, an hour just sitting there figuring out what to do because I was trying to go, but my brother needed to charge his phone in the car. So I just had to sit there in the car. And then I really had, I really had to go to the bathroom. I had to go pee. And I stopped at a store. They didn't have one. I stopped at another store. They didn't have one. And then I stopped at a gas station, and they did thankfully have one. So all of those factors combined really, it really put me in a bad mood. And I was actually angry. I was alone, so I felt free to let some foul language slide, some Jesus effing Christ, God effing damn it, stuff like that. But I guess it's not bad to do that, in my opinion. If you're alone, and you're not hurting anyone or anything, it's not bad to let out anger. I think, it's natural, and I think it's healthy for people to do it, because the alternative would be, bottling it up, and then it just comes out later, because you can only bottle up so many emotions before they just break out. I feel like, I've definitely been guilty of that, and maybe I can talk about that another day. But yeah, I just think that, it's an unfortunate situation, and sometimes, unfortunate situations have unfortunate outcomes. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think people should feel guilty for, expressing themselves. Not that I was really expressing myself, but I had to let out anger. So that's what I did. And yeah, I don't know. I can't feel too bad about that. But yeah, that's just my little story about today and about anger. And I'm sorry, I know maybe it was a little disorganized, but I just wanted to tell it because, I don't know if I have any listeners, but, if I do, you guys are getting the real side of me. So, I want to be as honest as I can here, and yeah, and I promise that, some days are going to be, fun and stuff. It's just that right now, I feel like maybe my life is, I'm in a rut right now that I really need to get out of, but I'm working towards that. And, even this project is, part of that, being able to, to let my thoughts out. And it's like a nice little self-reflection at the end of the day. So yeah, and I really appreciate having this opportunity to speak my mind. But yeah, some days I promise will be a lot more fun than some others. But I hope you will listen regardless. So yeah, anyways, song recommendation today. Well, I do have one. Maybe a little bit of an older song, but then again, a lot of the music I like is pretty old. And to be fair, this isn't even that old. It's 13 years old, I think. No, 14, now that it's 2023, 14 years old. It's the song Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. And it helped me today because right when I started driving home, it came on. It was in my playlist, and I was doing shuffle, and it came on, and I started singing along, and I really started to feel a lot better. So yeah, I like that music can help us in those ways. So yeah, anyways, it was really a pleasure to speak my mind today. Thank you everyone for listening. I gotta think of a fun outro. I'm gonna do that in the coming days, guys, I promise. Like something like, okay, this may be a little cringe, so I'm sorry, but like something like, I've been Pat. This was a chat. No, that's so bad. But I think we can work with that. I think I can work on that and I can make it something good. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much. And I hope, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are listening to this, you're safe, happy, and healthy. All right. Love y'all.